Good evening, YouTube. Derek here, Hardball Crazy, come back right to the video. Tonight's going to be, I want to say, a little story time video, I guess, telling you about a player you probably never heard of. I basically recently discovered him myself. So I did a little fun research on him and just kind of discovered him and thought I'd share my knowledge with you. Uh, so, I'm assuming you all are fans of the ESPN's 30 for 30s and stuff like that, and watched many of them over the years. They're all pretty much, vast majority are all pretty good. There was one that they did about a football player, the best player that never was, about old running back used to play in the USFL, Oklahoma, Marcus Dupree. It's pretty well made. So, in that line of thinking, I'm going to tell you about a baseball player because, I'm hardball crazy like that. About a baseball player, the best baseball player you've never heard of. Never heard of and never saw. Unless you were the select few who actually got to see him play in the minor leagues. Um, I never really heard of him. I heard of his name because I got a card of him years ago in those Fairfield repack things. So okay, who it is? So I googled his name on a Wikipedia, and by the time I got his card, um, he was done playing. So I just kind of threw it in the my commons box and never forgot about him until recently when I was watching the YouTube the other night. I don't know if you're familiar with the channel. Recently, his retired pitcher CC Sabathia has a podcast with a broadcaster, I guess, a journalist. I know, never heard of him. It's called R2C2 because he's CC and the other guy's initials was RR. And he did a podcast during the last year and the last baseball season and stuff like that with some regular baseball players, and it's kind of entertaining. Became a bigger CC Sabathia fan because he seems a pretty cool guy to talk to. I recommend watching it. It's on the Uninterrupted uh, channel. I'll leave a link to the specific video I watched this on. So this specific video I was watching, it had guests Adam Jones and Cameron Maybin on it. Two guys I always enjoy watching and liked was fans of. And somebody asked through a Twitter question, who was the best player that you saw that never made the major leagues? Before anybody answered, without a second to lose, CC Sabathia said, Brian Cole. He was Mike Trout before Mike Trout. I'm thinking, Brian Cole, I have a card of him. I know who this is. So I started to do a little research on him, and then I kind of like, wow, I got to talk about him on my and share my knowledge on him. So this is Brian Cole. If Eric, those back pages know of him, he might cringe. Former Met prospect. This is the 2000 Topps traded uh, rookie card of him. Same set that has Miguel Cabrera rookie card in and others like Michael Young and Adrian Gonzalez and um, Francisco Rodriguez. A whole bunch of them. This is his rookie card. Here you go. He's gonna sit right there with Magic. So I'm gonna tell you a little about Mr. Brian Cole, and he grew up in the smallest statue maybe checked by his card there. He's like only 5'9" or so. Uh, he grew up in Meridian, Mississippi area. He was a baseball and a football star in high school. His senior year, he scored 22 touchdowns. Got a bunch of scholarship offers from teams such as Florida State, Nebraska, Tennessee. Back when Tennessee was really good under Fulmer, and but baseball was his passion, so he turned him down. Uh, Tigers drafted him out of high school, but he turned down the 36th round, but he turned down like the $5,000 signing bonus. So he went to Navarro Junior College. Um, he hit 1 year. He hit 524 with 27 homers, 82 RBIs, 93 runs, 49 stolen bases in 60 games. Pretty hefty numbers. and obviously he was Baseball America's Junior College Player of the Year. After that lone season, the Mets drafted him in the 18th round, signed with the Mets. He had pretty good numbers for the Mets system. Um, he ended up being the 2000 Mets Minor League Player of the Year, and 2001 he was invited to play the Arizona Fall League. That's where he crossed paths with Albert Pujols. And to this day, Albert Pujols will probably light up his. He mention his name and say, "Oh, yes, I've heard of him. I saw him play," and he'll probably tell you he's fortunate to see him play. In his career, he had minor league numbers. He had 320 games and a slash of a 306, 347, and a 503, and OPS of 850, which is pretty good numbers. He was in 2001, he was in the Mets minor league system, and the Mets GM said, "We're building our franchise around our top three prospects: Jose Reyes, David Wright, and Brian Cole." And but Brian Cole had struggled with the strike zone a little bit, and so the Mets decided to ship him down minor leagues for a little bit. So he went to during spring training. After a game or so, he decided to go from Port St. Lucie Mets system and go see his family in Mississippi. And on his way to Mississippi, he was driving along, and all of a sudden a car from a different lane unexpectedly swerved in his lane, and he lost control of his car and swerved and rolled over a few times, and Cole was pronounced dead 3 hours later after the accident. And there was a huge lawsuit with Ford Motor Company about the cars being unsafe and easily being flipped over and such. And a massive lawsuit. Now we just Cole others, class action suit, and Ford was found guilty, paid millions of dollars, and including to the Cole family. But Cole was a player that everybody was in awe of. CC Sabathia said that his first time he played against him in the minor leagues, Sabathia took Sabathia's fastball and hit it to the outfield wall, and Sabathia knew instantly he learned how to do an off-speed pitch. Albert Pujols saw his athletic ability, and he was glad to see him play. Reliever Heath Bell was in all of them. He collected bats and stuff, and he got all his autographed bats. And yet, he never could get Brian Cole to autograph his, obviously. Brad Hawpe, former major leaguer, he said he's the best player Cole ever seen. Tim Foley he said in the minor leagues, he said 4 or 5 times during the season when he managed him, Cole would steal home plate standing up. And there's stories such as that is like a folklore, and you think it's fake or folklore, but you talk to anybody who saw him play, say, "Yep, it's true. Everything you hear about Brian Cole is true." So this is the card I pulled out of the Fairfield bag as a piece of a bat from him. So I threw it out of my comics bin, added to my collection. A little piece of Brian Cole in my collection. I'm going to send you a link. There's an SI article several years ago, and it titled the same as I kind of stole from, is The Best Player You Never Saw. I'm going to leave you a link in that. It's a good read, a little bit of lengthy read. It talks about Brian Cole and the players and the stories about him. It's a good read. So this is right now, Brian Cole is probably the best player you never saw. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.